Imagine this. A vast crowd, thousands of people gathered on a grassy hillside. The sun is beginning to set, casting long shadows. They've been there all day, listening, captivated by the words of a single man, Jesus. But as evening approaches, a practical problem arises. These people are hungry. There are over 5,000 men, not even counting women and children. Where could they possibly find enough food to feed such a massive crowd in this remote place? The disciples, Jesus' closest followers, are pragmatic. They see the problem clearly. They tell Jesus, "This is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy themselves some food." It makes perfect sense, right? It's the logical, responsible thing to do. But Jesus has a different idea. He turns to them and says something that must have sounded impossible. They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat. Can you imagine their reaction? You can almost hear them thinking, "Us? How? We're just a small group of fishermen and tax collectors. We have barely anything for ourselves." Philip, one of the disciples, does the math. He says, even if we worked for half a year, we wouldn't have enough money to buy even a small bite for each person here. They were looking at the situation through the lens of their own limited resources, their own human capacity. Then Andrew, another disciple, speaks up. He's found a young boy in the crowd. "Here's a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish," he says, but he immediately adds, "But how far will they go among so many?" It's a tiny offering, almost laughably small in the face of such overwhelming need. 5 loaves and 2 fish for thousands of hungry people. It's a symbol of insufficiency, of not enough. This is where the story pivots from a problem of logistics to a lesson in faith. Jesus doesn't dismiss the small offering. He doesn't laugh at its inadequacy. Instead, he says, "Have the people sit down." He takes the 5 loaves and 2 fish, looks up to heaven, gives thanks and breaks them. Then, he gives them to the disciples to distribute to the crowd. And then, the miracle happens. The food doesn't run out. Everyone eats. Not just a small bite, but as much as they wanted. They are completely satisfied. The disciples, who started with a feeling of helplessness, are now handing out an endless supply of food. The same hands that held what was not enough are now distributing an abundance that seems to come from nowhere. But the story doesn't end there. After everyone has finished eating, Jesus gives another instruction. Gather the pieces that are left over. Let nothing be wasted. So the disciples go back through the crowd and collect the leftovers. And how much was left? They fill 12 baskets with the pieces from the 5 barley loaves. 12 baskets. They started with less than 1 basket and ended with 12 baskets left over after feeding thousands. So, what does this ancient story mean for us today? It's about more than just a historical miracle. It's a powerful lesson about scarcity and abundance. We all have moments where we feel like we don't have enough. Not enough time, not enough money, not enough energy, not enough talent. We look at the challenges in our lives, in our communities, or in the world, and we feel overwhelmed, just like the disciples did. We see the vast need and our own small resources, and we think, what can I possibly do? The story of the feeding of the 5,000 invites us to shift our perspective. It teaches us that what we have, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem, can be multiplied in incredible ways when we place it in God's hands. That little bit of talent, that small act of kindness, that humble offering of your time or resources, it might feel like just 5 loaves and 2 fish. But when we offer it with a willing heart, it can become more than enough. It adds a challenge to stop focusing on what we lack and start looking at what we have. It's an invitation to trust that even our small contributions matter. The boy didn't have a feast to offer, but he gave what he had. And that act of simple generosity became the starting point for a miracle. We are not expected to solve the world's problems on our own. But we are called to bring our loaves and fish, to offer what we have, and to trust that something amazing can happen. Think about the not enough in your own life. What is it that you feel you're lacking? Now, consider this. What if the solution isn't about getting more, but about offering what you already have, no matter how small? The miracle wasn't just in the multiplication of food. It was in the shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of trust and abundance. It's a reminder that with faith, our little becomes much. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear this message. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that explores these timeless lessons. See you in the next video.